This video is supported by Central Oregon Radio, Central Oregon's #1 internet station. Hello everyone, this is Ranger Rob and welcome to the RangerRob Country Living Podcast. And we got actually kind of a special show today, but I gotta make sure we get all of our intros in here. So I want to make sure to let you guys know that not only do we have this video version on YouTube, but you can also catch the show on audio. And this is actually episode 52. And so we have an audio version of this. That our main platform is on Spreaker, but we're also on iHeartRadio and Apple and all those other places. So if you have podcast software on your cell phone, just type in Central Oregon Radio and no, sorry, do not type that. Well, you can type that, but anyway, type RangerRob Country Living Podcast in there and the show will come up. Put us in your favorites and you can catch all of our episodes. And so, yeah, quite entertaining. We talk about all kinds of things on homesteading and prepping. And sometimes we just spend the whole day picking on Rob, and that's okay. So today, also, I also need to let you know that we're also syndicated on Central Oregon Radio. And so if you haven't checked out Central Oregon Radio, it's all classic rock, classic country, classic easy listening kind of music, good stuff. And it's definitely local oriented. And we put a lot of our own kind of ads on there and stuff to give you examples of what you can do with your business or your service. So if you have horse services or blanket services, or you sell certain things, or you do wholesale, whatever, or you got a business, or maybe you're even in real estate, or maybe you have a business in Terrebonne or Redmond or Bend, you can definitely advertise with us on Central Oregon Radio. And we are very affordable. It's more of just helping maintain the licenses and stuff we have to have a radio station. So check us out if you'd like to advertise. And today, and don't forget to comment. We love your comments. Even if the show's over and we're not live anymore, we still like to see your comments. And I also want to welcome Jack to the show. And today, we have a legendary girl with us today. She's a sweetheart. She's, I'm kind of hoping she's kind of one of my buds. But her name is Zoe. And she is going to talk about, she asked me if she could talk about business with us. And I think it's important that we do have her on and get her view on why it's important to make money, what she does with her money, how she makes money, and of course, having the support with her mom, which is Amy. So down below, if you haven't noticed, the cute one in there is Zoe, and she's going to be talking here in a minute, but I got to get everybody introduced. So on the top, don't forget we have John and Debbie Sternberg, Hobby Pig Homestead. And did you get a haircut?
Everybody.
Did he get a haircut?
He did.
He looks incredibly handsome today. So looking good, John. And then, of course, below we have Amy with her daughter, Zoe. And what I want to do now is I'm going to give the stage to Zoe, and I'm going to be asking you questions, Zoe. So have you ever done a podcast before, Zoe?
No.
Because you look like a professional. You really do. So you almost like meant for this. So anyway, Zoe's going to talk about what are you going to talk about today, Zoe? Business. All right. And do you have a name for your business?
I share a business with my mom. It's called Eclectic Aims.
Would it happen to be that right there on the screen? All right. Eclectic Aims is .me. M-E. And
I apologize. I started that when Zoe was a baby. So that's how old the business is. It's as old as Zoe. And no one can ever remember the name or spell it. But eclectic means a little bit of everything. Interest in everything. And Ames is my nickname. So there we go.
Gotcha. All right. So, Zoe. So why I think this is important to have you on the show is I think our kids a lot of times are missing foundation of the important things it is to be when you become an adult. It's up to us parents to kind of give you opportunities to find out how the world works, right? So your mom has been very supportive in what you do, and you actually do pretty darn good. Because so anyway, I guess first thing I want to do is, why do you think it's important that kids have a business?
That way you can start getting more skills early, and mathematics skills, social skills.
Wow, that's a great answer. And
Yeah.
how long have you been doing business? And we'll talk about your business in a minute. But how long do you think? 20, 30 years?
Maybe about 9 months.
Wow. And are you enjoying it?
Yes.
And what are some of the main things you're starting to learn about business?
You just have to smile the whole time, interact with people.
Yep. And so what kind of things do you sell?
I make decor, I draw stickers,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually brought a piece of decor and one of my stickers.
Good. Let's see.
Okay. So this is one of my pieces of decor.
Oh my, that's awesome. It's all seashells.
Very nice.
And
Yeah.
it's got a hanger on the back to go on the wall. She purchased all this with her own money, all the supplies.
That's awesome. And
And-
I think you said you have some other stuff too, don't you?
Yes. So I have one of my stickers. I draw them.
You drew
I
that
know
chicken?
you're so good at drawing.
Oh my goodness.
And
She's
I brought
amazing.
I brought 2 of my drawings. So I have one of them. So it's like this pig sitting on a bench with a top hat.
Mm-hmm.
And then this other one I did was, so it's like a person, and then there's like rainbow dripping on her, and she's black and white.
Wow, that's awesome. And so where do you sell this stuff at?
Vendor events.
Where?
Vendor events. They're like farmers markets.
Oh, okay. Great. That was a word that it's like right over my head. Wow. So I've had the opportunity to go to some of the farmer markets that you guys have been in, and she works side by side with her mom. And I have a Facebook user on there, but it's not showing me your name. I apologize. I have Susan with us too, and Jack's with us, and Janine. I think that's you got quite the following, Zoe.
We do.
Everybody's-
This is Zoe's fan club here, and I see some milk customers and some good
Yep.
friends and people. It's really cool when you recognize people. It's no joke, Rob, that you have built this community. You have built this.
Well, we did it together. You guys have been. I said this on the last show, and I'll say it in this one because once again, Amy sent somebody over to me. So I tell these guys that because they've really got, they're hitting the farmers markets and they're getting their clients and stuff. And when it comes to things like eggs and stuff, it's a lot of times you can get sold out really easy. Even if you have 15, 20 chickens. So I just tell, anybody if they got clients that need eggs, and let me have, I'll be happy to cover the same cost that Amy has, but basically make sure you go to Amy first. But no way would we let you come onto the Crooked River Ranch without having fresh eggs. So a lot of
Exactly.
times she'll send people over to me out of the blue, and it's like, wow, I appreciate it. So I don't even advertise now because I'll just take I'm overstock. So yeah, this worked out really nice. So our community's been helping each other a lot. You guys heard the story last week about John and Debbie inundating me with hay. I appreciated that. And also I think Susan, it's the Susan, I don't remember her last name, but I think that's the same Susan that bought a pig from us.
It is.
So thanks to Amy, she referenced us. And I got to tell you, speaking of kids, and I'm coming back, Zoe, don't worry. She brought her teenage son over yesterday, I think it was. And of course, I didn't even hardly talk to Susan because I was like, when I see a young adult interested in the things that we're doing, I try to give them all my attention and try to get their figure out if they're interested in it and stuff, and then maybe plant the seed. So it was a very enjoyable time with her son. Her son was very polite, very great young man, and he got to go right into the pins, get the pet his pig, even though they're gonna process him later. But I think it was a little more than he expected, but he was great about it. So Zoe, now that you've been making your stickers, you made drawings, and you've been making decor, do you have some?
I want to show you the drawing of the pig.
I got one in my fridge too.
That is her work. She's so good.
She is. So, do you have future plans for some new ideas or even some services?
I really, really want to do babysitting.
Ah, yes, that's my wife. We were talking about this subject before
Animals
the show.
or people?
Animals or people? Yeah, peoples. That's Sherry said that's a lot of the income that she made when she was a young adult. Babysitting was a big thing for income for them, for they could save money to buy clothes and buy all kinds of stuff too, just like you. And we're going to find out kind of what some of these other people did when they were younger. But so for a service, it'd be babysitting. Anything else that you've been kind of thinking about for the future as you get older?
I've won 2 ribbons riding our horse in play days.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're like non-competitive rodeos.
Yeah. So when it comes to rodeos or contests or any kind of platforms like that, are you thinking about trying to get more involved in that in the future?
Yeah.
Yep. And I've seen you guys riding, and you kids are amazing. So, what do you? I know you earn money from what you're doing. I know you've actually made some pretty good numbers, and we're not going to reveal that. That's not important. But the thing is, what do you do with the money you make?
I would I buy more supplies so that I can make more stuff. And I actually have a bank account, and I can put some money away in that. And some of it I use to spend for myself, like $20 for me, and then like the rest of it is for buying supplies, making more stuff, and I pay for my vendor booth, my own vendor table.
Wow, good for you. So, gosh, pretty soon Mom's gonna have to figure out how to, accept credit cards and stuff, huh? Yeah, that's so. I got a gal here. Forgive me real quick, guys. You can see in the top here, it says Facebook user. I don't know who this person is, but I appreciate very much. Sounds like she's moving to Terrebonne from Connecticut. That's a long ways. That's across the United States, people. So looking forward to having you here. Make sure in fact, I'll just say Facebook user for now. She might have given me her name up above. Nope. Anyway, let us know when you're going to be in the area, and too, you get some great people. You get some friends right now, so you can look us up when you get over here, and then we'll come over and have a cup of coffee with you or something. So so welcome to Terrebonne, or when you do get here. So I had a question for you, Zoe, and I just went just gone. So some reason I've been trying to and I'm just teasing a little bit here, but I do know that anytime that I've seen your work ethic, so you know that anytime you want to earn extra money at Ranger Rob's place, just give me a holler. But that's up to your mom. So she doesn't let me through the gate anyway, so maybe.
Here we go. Here we go again.
I'm kidding. Usually we're all in such a hurry. It's like, do you have time? Are you feeding your pigs? I've got to go feed my pigs, or et cetera, and all that stuff. So I also know that, do you get an allowance at all? Zoe? No allowance. You earn all your money by yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. Susan. Oh, so is that you, Susan? It's switch on. I must have just now started putting your name on there. Okay, so sorry. So um, I'm Charlotte's mom. So people want to know who Charlotte is. That's her pig.
Nope.
So yeah, so people call me up. Yeah, hi, I'm Charlotte's mom, or to tell me their name of their pig. I'm like totally relate to who they are. I have no idea what their last names are or their family, but it comes to the pig that they bought, we know exactly who they are. So, um, and she is so your son, is he ready to start raising meat chickens? I'll be calling soon. So I showed him my chicken tractor and the design that came from Living Traditions, and which is the same design. Caught his attention. So it's like, well, that's cool. So that's a great thing. So Susan, that anytime that he needs anything or needs advice or wants to take measurements off of my stuff, that's great. So Zoe, now that you're getting rich and famous, I need a car, uh, preferably a pickup truck. Any way that you can kind of like sell a few more things and maybe get me a pickup truck? Nothing?
She's leaving now.
My money.
Everybody
Oh yeah,
figure out
now
the
she
money.
won't say a
That's
thing.
my money.
Yeah. So you got a bank account. You're saving your money. I do realize I have heard something about you that you're very dangerous. That's true. I hear you. You're very dangerous at the dollar store. Is that true?
I might have spent $40 last time.
Yeah.
You
So I
might
heard
have.
that. So I hear that once you get some profits, your mom gets kind of haunted about time to go to the dollar store. And what do you usually buy at the dollar store?
Last time the thing that I spent $40 on was Halloween decorations.
And I got to see some of them. They were awesome. So she actually decorated your house pretty nice. It's like, geez, can I hire her?
Yeah.
We
There you
have
go,
nothing.
decorating service for the holidays. Decorating service. That's her next endeavor.
Just call me
Great.
up.
Yeah, your
So-
treehouse is amazing.
Yeah. So I finally got to see a tree house, and right at the bottom of her stairs of her tree house, she has a little thing there with candy in it. It's like, this is so sweet. So do you still earn money over the winter, or is this pretty much just in the summer and spring type thing? So
I think in the winter I earn more money because we do a lot of Christmas shows, and Christmas is like the busiest holiday.
wow. So where do you do your Christmas shows at?
Everywhere.
Really? So mom, give me some examples of where we can find you at Christmas shows.
Well, if anybody local is listening and needs a couple more vendors for their Christmas shows, we are still trying to fill up December. Our November is pretty booked. There's the Country Christmas at the Grange, and it's boutique style. It's just before Thanksgiving. And then I do know the 9th and 10th of December will also be at the Grange. That's another flea market, but we'll have all of our Christmas stuff there.
And that's
And
at
then,
Terrebonne. That's in Terrebonne, right?
Terrebonne, yes.
Okay.
We really enjoy the folks at the Grange. Speaking of community, that's what the Grange is. And I think why I like it the most is that it reminds me of my grandparents. When I was Zoe's age, the memories I have of my grandparents, that's kind of the community that's there. So it's pretty special.
And
Awesome.
adding on to that, I'm there. I'm like, I walk in and everybody's like, "Oh, hey Zoe, hi, how are you?" Everybody knows me. They don't even say hi to mom. They just say, "Oh, hi Zoe."
I know. Well, you're so adorable.
Yep.
So, does any of your other sisters do the kind of things you do when it comes to business?
No.
Nope, just you. It's kind of just
Stay
in your
at home
blood.
and watch TV.
Oh, I got a feeling they do a little more than that.
Not Etta.
So Zoe, do you watch a little TV, or do you play video games or anything like that?
I watch if I get started on a movie that like a movie series that I really love, then I'll like day after day watch the movie series until I'm done. Then I'll take like a break for a month and stop watching TV.
Good for you.
Like
So
right
do
now,
you-
I'm caught on Maze Runners.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So what do you do for a hobby? I mean, what do you do for fun?
Craft.
Just crafts?
Go to my favorite thing to do is craft and go to vendor events for fun.
Where did you get this kid?
Kind of a mini me, so
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I'll tell you, I'm going to give away another secret. Is when we had our garage sale or our estate sale and stuff, Zoe, I think, bought 500 pounds of rocks from us, and
that's accurate.
yeah,
Only
and,
100.
yeah. I mean, I have never met anybody that loves rocks as much as you do, and so I know. Did you bring any of your rocks besides the decor you made? Because some of the ones you showed me lately were really pretty, and that's okay. Um, and Susan, you don't even have to say thank you. It just came natural. You had a really wonderful, nice son. He was very polite, very respectful. I really enjoyed him. So I was just so funny. So Susan was telling me she was bringing her kid over here, and I thought, oh, it's going to be a little 7-year-old or something to show him the piggies and stuff. And I show up as like adult. I'm going, oh, it's a big son. So it was really nice that. It was really just. I haven't had a teenager over here for a while, so it was really neat. I'm going to say, not exactly young adult, and yeah, he was awesome. So what we're doing on this show tonight, I feel is very, very, very important. Is to get our kids interested in business, understand how business works, understand money, understand customer service, and then also having goals. So you're looking into babysitting. As what's your long term? Do you have any goals a little more long term?
I have something that I want to do when I'm 18. So
Yes.
when you're 18, you're allowed to go skydiving.
Oh,
Wow.
There's a skydiving place in Madras, which is like
there
40
is.
minutes
Yep.
away.
You're talking
Yeah.
about that bridge, aren't you? You want to jump
I-
off that bridge?
Not
wanna-
bungee jumping, actual skydiving out of a plane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
So which one of y'all is going with her? Because I'm not gonna.
Ranger,
You and Ranger Rob.
yep.
For Zoe's 18th birthday, Rob, you gotta go skydiving with her.
Uh-oh. Gosh.
I'm going right now. 7 years.
You got 7 years.
Do you know how old I'll be by then? I won't be that old. I get, I'm still up there. But
Yeah, you'll be ancient, but you could do it.
I just have a heart attack on the way down.
We'll have aspirin for you on the bottom.
Everybody will be looking in binoculars going, he looks so relaxed. It's like, no, he died.
Oh gosh.
Oh, my. So, so Zoe, I also know when you're making your are you, by the way, are you making earrings yet like your mom?
No.
No?
But for a while I did make jewelry, and actually I made 3 like little jewelry packs, and they weren't like these earrings. I'm wearing some that Mom made right now,
Yeah, those
but
are pretty.
they were like the little ones that had the jewels on them and stuff, and I used like wires to put them together. I stopped doing that a while ago though.
So did you learn when you're starting to sell your stuff that you had to learn how to make displays, kind of decorate the table and stuff?
Yes. I do have a vendor tip for you though.
I'm all ears.
So if you are going to do a vendor event, a lot of videos, if you watch, they'll say to put decorations on your table, but never do that, because I've had several people, I've seen them, like they sit across from us and they have decorations out, but they're not selling them, and a ton of people are like, how much is this? Can I get this? And then they're like, no, that's not for sale.
Yeah, so it's kind of distractive, isn't it?
Yeah. I have this little table, so it's made out of a plant holder and then like a wooden one, and then a piece of scrap wood on top, so it's a little table. And I put this bandana over it, or a piece of fabric, and I use that as a riser, so I can set stuff against it and stuff on top of it to catch people's eye.
Gotcha. So when you're selling something, does your mom kind of teach you the cost of making an item and a profit?
No.
The difference?
I do it all myself.
Well, we went over it in the beginning, but she
only had to tell me once.
Can I brag on her for a second? I just want everybody to know how proud of her I am. When she said how long she started, before we moved here, we were doing a farmer's market there. And the first thing she started doing was offering portraits. Would you like me to draw your picture? And she would sit and draw the person's picture. They were
so bad.
No, they weren't. They were good.
Bad.
People loved it.
And then I was like 8, and I drew little animals, and I cut them out with scissors, like super bad, and I would sell them for like $1 or something.
And people
everybody bought them. And then I remember there's this group of grandmas, and they sat over there, and they were so nice. They played games, and then like ABC games or something, and they would invite me over there, and I would sit there and play the games with them, practicing my.
Yep.
Oh,
so she started out drawing portraits in crayon, and then when we moved here, she had her own little corner of my table. This last vendor event we did, she paid for her own table. She had a whole table, all her own. She paid for it herself out of the money that she made.
Awesome.
I'm just really proud of her.
So I got to ask her a question. I always see Zoe with a headband. Why do you always have a headband on?
So, I'm trying to grow it out now, but my hair, I had it at a pixie cut. I love having a pixie cut. My hair is so thick. Mom had to cut it about 3 times a month, and Mom got tired, and she said, "No, grow your hair out. I'm not cutting it 3 times a month." Because it would grow, it would be like here, and then it would go down to here in a month. And she, really fast, and she had to keep cutting it.
Yeah. Now you do interchangeable little things on your braid, on those bands, don't you?
I have. So for Christmas, my grandma got me a headband kit. It had 10 headbands and little flowers that can go on it and off. And then I have a whole drawer like this big in our bathroom that's completely stuffed full of headbands.
Now, there's another thing I know about you is you take care of the chickens, don't you?
Yes.
At the homestead. And how many chickens are you taking care of?
36.
Jeez.
Wow.
So you'd think I wouldn't be sold out of eggs, but lo and behold.
I know. And so 36, are they all, how many hens do you have?
31.
31.
Because I'm pretty sure, don't we have 4 chickens that aren't laying? Because the chicks.
We have 4 babies. Well, it's less than 30. We have 4 babies, 2 roosters, and a couple real old girls who have done their time and now are just, living out the rest of their life, but they don't lay anymore.
So does Zoe actually take care of the chickens all the time, or is that a family thing?
Yes. I wake up at about 7 a.m., go outside with my coat on, and grab my chicken bucket. I leave it by the chicken pen, and I go out to the stalls, which is where our chicken food is.
Right.
I scoop it up, walk back, do that, and then I grab the hose, and I fill up the water. Then I check for eggs, and I make sure everybody's okay and stuff like that.
So you do that as contributing to the homestead, don't you?
Yes.
And that's great. So, and does your sisters at all help you with any of your business stuff?
No.
No. It's all Zoe, 100%, huh?
It is.
Last time I got very mad. I was sitting there talking to a customer, and my sisters, they usually come and visit me for 5 minutes. She had a piece of food, and she was arguing with with Etta, and she came past me, and I bumped over like that while I was talking to a customer, and I said, Aubrey. And then she was like, what, Zoe? And like talking really loud. I'm like, I'm a customer. They're not
Yeah,
good.
teach you some business etiquette, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool. So Zoe, let's find out with some of the people on the panel here, because I got to let them talk a little bit. And I want to start with your mom and find out what is some of the first jobs you had when you were young. And I don't know how young. Some people didn't start working till they're in their teens, and some didn't. So, what were some of your first jobs?
My first job was when I was 15. I started volunteering at the veterinary clinic doing kennel crew, which is basically cleanup, scooping the poop, cleaning the cages, taking everybody out for walks. And I started volunteering because they couldn't hire me till I was 16. But then when I was 16 and I got my driver's license, they hired me for reals. And I also did house sitting for people with animals. And I was very busy.
Yeah. And so you did that. Did you do anything else interesting between, say, that age and, say, 18?
Nope, that was it. And it was as full-time as it can be for a high school student, between the vet clinic and the house sitting, because especially people with animals, it's I know it's hard to get a house sitter if you got animals. It's hard to find somebody you trust. I guess I am calling myself trustworthy, but I am. So I was in high demand between the vet clinic, and especially because I could drive myself.
Yeah.
So transportation wasn't an issue. And I guess I've always been a workaholic.
Yep. How about you, Debbie? What was some of your first jobs when it had to be centuries ago?
I totally forgot, but I started out babysitting.
Yep.
And then I worked, my dad owned a heating and air conditioning company. And I worked for them in the office. And then after that, I worked for a sewing company that made purses. See where I get all that?
Yeah.
And then I went into manufacturing.
Yeah, I kind of did too. So, how about you, John? What did you do when you were super young? What were some of your first jobs?
Mowing the lawns.
Yep.
All around the neighborhood. Then I went to work at the Rafters, if you know where that is.
The
I
what?
don't know where that is.
The Rafters in Portland. It's
No.
just right underneath the Selwood Bridge.
Just tell them what it is.
It's
What is it?
It was one of the high-end restaurants there,
Oh,
and basically cooked lobster and burgundy mushrooms every day.
wow.
Wow.
Yum.
And then I went to work for a small little yogurt shop, which for me, I hate yogurt. So it was the perfect job.
Yeah.
And then just before I got out of high school, I think for a year and a half, I was going through high school and working at a chrome plating shop.
That was one of your one of your first skills you probably learned, eh?
Oh, yeah. And then I joined the military.
Ah, that's right. You're 20 years?
Yep.
Gotcha. So what did you specialize in as far as skill in military?
Diesel mechanic.
Wow. That's something you can put in the bank for sure. You'll never be out of a job when you're a diesel mechanic. So awesome. No. A couple of things I'll list I did when I was little was I obviously did the lawn mowing like across the street for an old lady and stuff like that. But my main things is that when I was 16, I got a job working at Auburn Mazda up in Washington State. And so I was a lot boy. So we washed cars and detailed them and stuff like that, which was the coolest job ever because, obviously that was about the time the first RX-7s came out. So we were one of the first ones to drive those. But yeah, anyway, so what was really cool is I think it was kind of probably like-minded just like us is the owner of that of Auburn Mazda, he found out that I like to work at Westport, Washington, to work in the fishing boats in the summer, and which is really hard work and really good money and stuff like that. But he respected that so much that he would give me the summers off from Auburn Mazda to let me work in Westport, Washington, on the fishing boats. And then when the season was over, and of course I'm going to high school too, he'd hire me right back on, just because he's like, don't meet a lot of teenagers that work like that. So he respected that so much that he literally let me have the summers off. And I look back even to this day, I was really appreciated that he did that. But yeah, that was my primary income, was Auburn Mazda and fishing boats until I was 18, and eventually ended up working at Boeing. So I ended up, I did do college, but didn't get a degree, but Boeing hired me. So it's like, the heck with a degree, I'll just work for Boeing. So that was kind of my thing. So mine was electronics, but yeah, so that's what I did when I was little. I had little odd jobs and stuff too. So, so Zoe, I got a question for you. Is there, when it comes to our homesteads, the things that we do here, are there certain jobs or things that catch your interest of maybe you want to pursue as an adult?
I like a lot of the stuff that you do. Like, I love the pigs, but I think I wouldn't really enjoy doing pigs. But I do think that I would enjoy having, like, doing a ton of, like, a garden.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would just have, like, a berry garden.
Oh, you like berries?
All of the berries.
That'd be awesome. We need more berries around here, believe me.
Yeah.
In fact, I hope you get really good at it so you can teach me how to be better at it, because I'm not the best. So, go ahead.
And I guess it's not really like a homestead job, but I really, really like how you and everybody, you guys decorate like your yard with all the yard art and your pond.
Oh.
I think that's really cool. Oh, and I want to have the koi fish.
Oh, gotcha. Those are all great things. There's so many amazing things you could do with that. You could have a garden and koi fish and have the koi fish feed the garden.
And then have the garden feed the pigs.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So do you ever have an interest, and your mom's starting to do it, do you have an interest at all in learning how to do a YouTube channel, anything about the things you do?
Yes.
Now we got our interest.
I have asked her so many times. I want to have my own, so it'll be like a crafting and drawing tutorial like channel. So I'll do tutorials on crafting, and then I'll do drawing tutorials. I can do like vlogging of craft fairs.
Mm-hmm. That's
I
great.
think you'd be really good at that, honey.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a now thing. Even though we're still doing traditional things that like growing food and storing food and growing animals and stuff, we also have to embrace technology and the new things around us, like social media and all that. So I think it's important. I think your mom is making sure that one is you're focused on what you're doing, that you have good skills, so you have something to be a creator for. And she's probably also making sure that you of your safety and making sure that it's done right. So there is a dark side to the social and all that stuff too. And I'm sure that your mom, so trust your mom and her instincts about getting you in there. But when you're ready, and that's coming, between all of us on this show, that you have a really big resource of people that can help you. And when that time comes, we're here for you. But not before it's time.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I brought in here to show you is my cash box that I use.
Oh, sweet. Does it got cash in it?
It only has my coins. I took my cash out. But
Yeah, she went to the Dollar Tree.
Yes.
no, not yet. Mom hasn't taken me. So
awesome.
I got it off Amazon. My favorite color is blue, so I had to get the blue one. And
Mine
I'm trying
too.
to have my whole table like blue themed. I have a blue tablecloth.
Uh-huh.
But so I got it off Amazon. I think it was $12. I think it was really worth it. So it came with 2 keys, I have one that I keep. There's a keychain on here. I have one that I keep on here, and then I have one that's on my wallet. So it goes, and then inside you have this tray.
Wow, looks like a bank.
Wow.
It has dividers for coins, and then when you look inside, it has this big empty space. This is where I keep the cash at.
The cash, yeah, the cash. Now, you do realize you can trust me with the other key.
Yeah, you can trust me too. I know where the Dollar Tree is.
And apparently I can't trust my own family. I was told I can't get down from the table, and it was the night that I got back from our vendor event, and they asked me how much cash I made. I said, "Oh, well, I made this amount," and then they're like, "Whoa, hey, do we know where Dutch Bros is? Does anybody know where Dutch Bros is?" And I was like, "I think I do. You can probably pull up a map." He was like, "Okay, so where's your cash box at?" I was like, "It's just in the house." They're like, "Okay, so you're not allowed to get down. I can get down. Goodbye." And they walked off. Then I sat there in my chair, and then Dad finally said, "You can get down." I ran over there, grabbed my cash box out of their hand, then I went and hid it.
Wow, that'd be kind of scary. So we have a big secret that I'm going to reveal to Debbie here. That Sherry and I have been talking, and we think it's time to let her have Dinky. Not a dinky, a dinky, which is known as Elvis over here, which she's actually given it a name already. So we have this little pig over here that's
I'll be over in a minute.
well, I need to know what day it is because I still got to give him his
What is
dewormer,
today?
but
Today's Thursday.
we got this,
We'll be over
Today's
Saturday.
Thursday. No, we won't. Today's
October
Thursday.
6th.
yeah,
Tomorrow's Friday.
gotcha. So you want to pick it up Saturday?
No, Friday.
Well, I need time. So in the morning, I got to make sure and at least somehow get Dinky set aside. Well, I guess I could do all the piglets, but I need to worm them. If not, I can give you some of the dewormer to take with you, which would be easier for you to give to him because the other piglets might steal it. But he does need to be dewormed. But
I
that's
can
just
do
something
that.
we
I
do.
know how.
So we got the stuff. I could just give you a quantity to take home.
Yeah.
But,
You know she gets up early, like really early.
she can knock on the door all she wants until I wake up.
I know where my pig is.
But yeah, we're kind of thinking, I think he's kind of weak he's weaned. I think he's not really shown any reason to want his mom or anything. I think he's ready to rock and roll. So,
I'm excited.
I'm so happy.
Zoe, you've seen Dinky, haven't you? Our little baby, the little pig that's like 1/3 the
Tiny
size
one?
of all. He's just a little guy, but he's
And
very cute, adorable.
One of the reasons why I know him is because every single time since he's been there and I've been there at the same time as Debbie, she's like, "See, that's the one I love."
I didn't want you to forget.
For sure. I'm looking at my notes. Sorry about that. So I do want to find out, because I know you're taking care of chickens and those are your responsibility. On the homestead, do you have anything else that you're kind of in charge of?
I usually take care of the goats. And it's so the pig is kind of everybody does it. We take turns. I'm usually the one who does it, but filling up her wallow. Because we have to do it like 4 times a day.
Yeah, same here. Yep.
And then the goats, they get put away in the stall at night because I don't know if everybody's heard we had a bobcat problem.
Yeah.
So, but we've already been doing that. We put them away at the stall in the stalls at night, and then I get their stall ready and put them away.
Yep.
And then Mom's usually the one who takes them out in the morning because she takes them out when she's milking the cow.
Ah, gotcha.
What do you do to get your pig's stall ready?
The goats.
The goat
Oh,
stall.
just the goat, not the pig.
The pig has a house. The pig has a house. She
Because
sleeps in.
of hoe. He's chopping down the forest. But to get the goat stall ready, we just give them they have 2 red buckets, and I fill one of them up with water and put them in there. Then the other one I put a scoop of grain in there, and then we make sure they have hay. And then I just have to, before they were getting like really sweet grain hay. I mean really sweet grain like grain.
Right.
So they would come running. You just have to run, and they would follow you, meowing and screaming, and they would run into their stall. Now so one of them got bloated, so we've stopped giving them that super sweet grain.
Yeah.
Oh.
And now you have to drag them by their collars to get them into the stall, and then they'll jump on the stall trying to break out.
Aw.
We're giving them the healthy grain now.
Yeah,
Oh,
they got
that's
a sweet tooth, and so they're not as excited to go to bed because they know that there's no candy waiting for them.
Yeah, well, I got, I'm kind of like, I took some advice from John and Debbie, and my pigs are they're just ticked off at me now because I went and bought some pig feed from Central Oregon Feed, and my pigs don't like it.
Oh.
They're eating it, but it's kind of weird because
Not their
I
favorite.
had to switch because they were out. So
What
I
are
went
you
and-
talking about?
the pig feed that they have at Central Oregon Feed is different than what they have at Redmond Feed and Irrigation.
You were supposed to go to Wilco.
Uh-oh.
I thought you went to Central Oregon.
No.
Oh, well, anyway, I just needed some feed.
Now
they're
we're really
totally out.
upset and we're offended.
Well, no. Well, I knew you guys are kind of woke folks, so that's all right. But
Don't know what you're talking
a little
about.
sensitive. So anyway,
I'll give you a bag of feed so
my-
you can try it.
well, I'll probably stick with what we got, but I will next time I go to Wilco, I will buy a sample of.
No, we'll bring it over and let them try it first. We have a ton of
It's
it.
not really fair because the first day they were like, "What the heck is this?" And then, but as time went on, they get hungry enough. Pretty soon, it's delicious. So today, it looked like they were eating the food just fine, but it was kind of funny. They all kind of turned their noses up. I mean, all of them. It's like,
Well,
what did
something
I do?
different. Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. But
No, we swapped the pigs over. They didn't even notice the difference.
Well,
Probably,
they didn't really notice because I mixed it with the old stuff,
yeah,
like you do dogs.
gotcha. So we actually had a couple of pieces of news here. I guess see what our time is here. One is last week we let everybody know that you were dealing with a bobcat, Amy, and has he been back?
No.
Yeah. And then I lost 2 chickens. That's the first time I've ever lost chickens here, and I don't know what it was, but the thing I decided to do was I didn't have the electrical on there because I was beefing up the electrical over on some of the piglets that were getting out a couple of weeks ago, and so so part of it's kind of like I feel like it was a little my fault. I could have had that fence on, so I did put a security camera out there, and my camera has a 1 terabyte backup drive to back up all the cameras. So if I have any more problems out there, one is I'll hear about it on the screen here, but 2 is we'll get a recording of what it was so I can figure out what I'm dealing with because I have no clue what got in there. I can't figure it out. But that was the first time we actually lost some critters too, so that was kind of sad.
So was your fencing still up,
It was
or was it down?
one side was pushed down, so
Yeah.
so but I have no idea
What it was?
I have other culprits other than bobcats and other things. I also have, and I can't mention really what other culprits I could have because I have no idea what actually caused me any problems. But I have a camera now, so I can actually figure out what I'm dealing with. But hopefully, I don't have to deal with any more.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Maybe. I
that's
can't
going
remember.
around on the ranch right now.
I know. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's really weird because it's not like there's fires that are bringing these animals in.
Yeah.
Usually it's a fire that brings them in. But we haven't had that this year.
Yeah, well, we've never had really any predator problems here at all. This is the very first time, but it was bound to happen. The more, we're getting more critters. The other thing I wanted to kind of do a little bit of announcement, and I talked to Debbie and John about this earlier, is we process our pigs at Cinder Butte Meats, and they've done a great job. They're perfectly great. So typically, because they're a custom cut company, we can sell our pigs to people as halves or wholes through them. And we follow the letter to the law of how we can sell our meat. So that's a great way to go. And I'm still going to use them for people that want halves and wholes. But we didn't, and some people may not know this, but we found out today that there's a USDA meat market in Prineville. And so I think they're called the Butcher Boys. So for those who are looking for having your meat processed with a USD inspector seal, you might say, which also makes it resellable, Prineville actually offers that service. So I was actually really surprised to find that out, which really changes the scope of what we're doing over here. So, but there's a problem with that. For those of you, I said on our thumbnail, we were talking about IPP pigs a little bit. Is you need to remember that. Let's say I have a pig butcher and I get all the cuts. I get the beef, I get the hams, I get the pork chops, I get the the ribs and all that stuff. But when you're selling individual, somebody may come in and say, and they just want pork chops, and then the next person that comes in, they just want to buy pork chops, and the third person comes in and they just want to buy pork chops. Well, then you're out of pork chops, and then pretty soon you've got a whole pig of ribs and hams and roasts, and it's in the freezer. And it's like you can hold on to that for a while, but after a while, he's like, you got to you wouldn't want to sell like something that's been frozen for 6 months to almost a year or something like that as compared to fresh. So you could have your inventory or your not sold that way. The benefits of selling a half or a whole pig, it makes much more sense to someone who's a grower, because nothing can go to waste, and nor would you get stuck with inventory.
And the customer gets exactly what they want.
Yep, they get exactly what they want, but you get a freezer sitting with a bunch of stuff you don't want.
Right.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that after I did some homework and watching some YouTubes and stuff like that is when you're doing something like that and you're thinking about selling meat and you go through a USDA processor, which is all cool and stuff like that, but you might want to consider not doing that with all your herd. You may want to do only 30 or 40, maybe 30-40% of cut meats, and then the rest of your herd would be just selling as halves or wholes. So you don't have a bunch of freezers full of pig's feet. Nobody buys pig's feet, So anyways, something to consider business-wise. And this is applicable to not only just the pigs, but for us, we're all looking into the different options of how do we get our feed more cost-effective, how do we get our hay more cost-effective, and how do we process our pigs more cost-effective, and things like that. So I've got 5 pigs right now going to processing, and so I'm going to continue to keep the 3 that I've sold to customers going to Cinder Butte. But I thought maybe I'd take mine and go through the USDA process. So if somebody wanted to buy some pork chops from me or anything like that, they could, and I'd still consider it Sherry and I, our homestead food too. So I'm out nothing really. So it's a lot less risk to Sherry and I if I process. Now the same company, you can still sell half and wholes and stuff like that. So and like I say, I'm just kind of passing this on to people that might be thinking about getting into raising pigs and stuff like that, and or it could be cows, it could be sheep, it could be all kinds of things. But the good news is we have a local processor, and that's amazing. I did not know that till today. So,
I didn't know that either.
And I called them and talked to them, and I confirmed it and stuff. So yeah.
I have a little thing about, on the note of business, everybody who watches the show regularly and the rest of the panel knows that we've been trying to decide if a second milk cow is right for us. and we were playing with some numbers last night. So it would take $20 in just grain to have 2 cows and milk that I was milking. $20 a day for grain, the way that we buy grain and mix it. I would have to sell at least 3 gallons a day to do that, to make it even near profitable. And you know, cows, they eat 7 days a week, whether they have to be milked twice a day, 7 days a week, they're going to go through $20 every single day of grain, whether I sell milk that day or not. Now, the other thing is Oregon's cottage laws, the laws that govern what you can sell from a farm. I have to look this up and confirm it, but Dustin told me last night, we are only allowed 3 dairy animals in milk on the property at a time if I'm selling milk. That even means if one of my goats had a baby and that baby's nursing off of her, but I have 2 milk cows, I can only have 3 dairy animals in milk if I'm selling milk at a time. I cannot have more than 3.
But it's still, I mean, the thing is it's good to know all this and stuff like that.
It is good to know, but I wish the government would go mind their own business.
I'll give Joe a call. He'll back off.
I know. What if I have 2 milk cows I'm selling milk from, and I have 3 goats with babies, and they now I'm illegal.
We can house one of your goats.
See, we'd have to work around it, but that just made me mad. But I don't think the government should tell me how many animals I can have in milk.
And
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
What's up, Zoe?
something I was thinking about, because I'm standing here and my drawings are sitting right here and I'm staring at them. And I was thinking, it kind of is related to one of your questions that you asked.
Yeah.
What kind of made me get better or kind of get inspired of art?
Yeah, I want to hear that.
I do have a cousin. Her name's Lily, and she, her and her mom, really are artists, and they draw all the time. And whenever she comes over, me and her like to draw, just for fun. And then, I started getting better and practicing. And that's also one of the things when you ask what I do for fun, I love to draw.
You do amazing at it too, honey.
So one of the things I would be curious in your interest in the future is, can you take your art and turn it into electronic, like learning how to do graphics? For example, I use a web design company here 20 years in this area, and I had to pay people to work for me that were graphic artists. They're the ones that make all the really cool thumbnails and all kinds of cool graphics, stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see if you could take your talent by hand, which can be transferred into electronic, but eventually you might want to start thinking about getting a graphics software in the future to learn how to take take your skills into electronic form, because that's a very sellable skill to have in the future. And so it's always good for extra income.
As her mom, I'm thinking of that. I got 3 kids to pay for college for, but that's how she does her stickers, is she draws them on the iPad. Just flip it around.
Okay, so
we're almost at time. So she draws them on the iPad digitally, and then we do print them out.
Awesome.
Here's one of them. This is kind of a secret because these are ones that I haven't made into stickers yet, but will be at my upcoming vendor event that I've been working on them. And
Go ahead, we're working on it.
The sublimation earrings that my mom does.
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy the digital image, and I'm starting to draw digital images for earrings and then for people to buy. So it's basically I draw them and then we post them up, and then they just keep selling. I don't have to do anything because they're digital.
That's awesome.
And then I do think that I will want to do a graphic design thing.
That would be good.
Yeah, that's great. Now, hey, I got to scoot on. This is, we have a 1-hour show, Zoe. So I want to thank everybody. Zoe, you are wonderful on the show. I'm so glad you came on the show today. And I hope you inspire other kids your age to do the same thing. So, and I want, of course, thank Amy and Debbie and John for being on the show. And we definitely, Zoe was our star today, and we really appreciated that. So, guys, we got to move on. We're over our time, but I want to thank everybody for watching. Please take the time to say hello. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos and all that good stuff. So, guys, we'll talk to you later, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye.
This video is made possible by RangerRob Poopy Bags, available in Amazon right now. Thank you very much for watching our video. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over the whole wide world. Thanks.